It did not begin with a declaration of war, and it did not begin with a vote in Congress or the United Nations. It began with bombs falling on a capital city, and a president being dragged across borders by a foreign power. When U.S. forces bombed Caracas and abducted Venezuela's president, Nicolas Maduro, the message was unmistakable. Power no longer needs permission. And when Donald Trump proudly announced that the United States would now run Venezuela and tap its oil reserves, it was not just a military action, it was a statement of ownership, a reminder that in today's world, sovereignty exists only as long as powerful states choose to respect it. What made this moment even darker was not just what the United States did, but who applauded it. Israel's government rushed to congratulate Trump, calling the operation bold, historic, and a victory for freedom and justice. The same leaders who justify the destruction of Gaza in the name of security now celebrated the destruction of Venezuela's independence in the name of democracy. The same voices that defend bombs falling on refugee camps now praised bombs falling on a foreign capital. And in that celebration, something was exposed: that the language of freedom is being used as a cover for domination. Venezuela woke up in fear and confusion. Streets emptied. Families stocked food and medicine. People whispered instead of spoke. A nation was told its president was gone, its future was uncertain, and its resources were now someone else's business. This is what liberation looks like when it is delivered by fighter jets. This is what justice sounds like when it is announced by those who will never live under its consequences. And Gaza knows this story too well, because Gaza has lived under this same logic for years, a logic where power defines morality, where bombs are called defense, where starvation is called pressure, and where displacement is called relocation. Gaza has been told again and again that its suffering is necessary, unfortunate, complex, or inevitable. Venezuela is now being told the same story, just in a different language and on a different continent. This is not coincidence. It is pattern. A pattern where strong nations decide the fate of weaker ones, where elections are judged legitimate or illegitimate based on alignment, not law, where human rights matter only when they serve power, where sovereignty is sacred for some and disposable for others. Trump's words revealed this brutally. We will run Venezuela, not help, not support, not assist, run. As if a country were a company, as if a nation were a resource, as if people were not people but obstacles to be managed. And Israel's praise revealed something else, that Gaza and Venezuela are connected not by geography, but by the same political logic that allows violence to be reframed as virtue and domination to be reframed as leadership. The world is watching two stories unfold at once. In Gaza, children are growing up under drones instead of trees. In Venezuela, people are growing up under uncertainty instead of self-determination. In both places, lives are being reshaped by decisions made far away, by people who will never carry the consequences of what they order. And yet, the language remains polished. Freedom, democracy, security, justice. These words are repeated until they lose their meaning, until they become masks worn by power. But people feel the truth even when they are not allowed to say it. They feel it when hospitals are bombed. They feel it when presidents are abducted. They feel it when borders are crossed without consent. They feel it when oil matters more than lives. This is why so many people around the world are no longer convinced by speeches, because reality is louder than rhetoric. Gaza is not safer. Venezuela is not freer. The world is not more just. What is happening is not the defense of order, but the demonstration of power. And the question the world must now answer is not whether Trump was bold or Netanyahu was grateful, but whether humanity will continue to accept a system where the strong decide and the weak endure, where violence is praised when it serves the right flag, and condemned only when it serves the wrong one. Because if power continues to be allowed to replace law, and force continues to replace consent, then Gaza is not an exception. Venezuela is not an exception. They are previews, and that is what should truly terrify us.